My name is Ariel Sly, and this is my informative speech. Antibiotics and the resistance. The first natural antibiotic was discovered by Alexander Fleming in 1928. It was penicillin. It's a bacterial antibiotic that kills bacteria by attacking its cell wall. There are many different forms of antibiotics. One of those is inhibition to protein synthesis. It attacks the structure of the ribosome. Inhibition of nucleic acid replication and transcription. It interferes with the DNA replication and transcription. Injury to plasma membrane. It changes the permeability and eventually causes the cell to burst. And inhibition to essential metabolic synthesis. It targets the way that bacteria makes folic acid. Along with all the big discoveries and good things that have come from antibiotics, there is now one big downfall. We are becoming resistant to them. They mutate in different ways to prevent the antibiotics from getting in the cell and working. One of those ways is they can block the entry by producing a waxy layer that surrounds the cell, keeping the antibiotics from getting in. For example, mycobacteria, which is one of the most resistant antibiotics, other than prions and endospores, is one of those that does produce the waxy layer. Inactivation by enzymes. The bacteria produces an enzyme that destroys the antibiotic when it gets inside the cell. There's the alteration of target molecule, which means the receptor on the bacteria mutates so the antibiotic can't get inside. The last mutation is the efflux pump, which is as soon as the bacteria gets inside the cell, the pump is formed and kicks it out. As you have just learned, pretty much all the ways that we have been able to target a bacterial cell with antibiotics, they have mutated to become resistant. When antibiotics are completely resistant to all When bacteria is completely resistant to all antibiotics, that's called a superbug. Things you can do to help prevent the resistance to antibiotics. You can ask to be tested to make sure they're giving you the right antibiotic. There's no use to take antibiotics if it's not needed. You take antibiotics exactly as described, meaning finish the entire prescription. Only take antibiotics that are prescribed to you. Don't save antibiotics, and don't ask for antibiotics when your doctor thinks that they're not needed. You can practice good hand hygiene and get the recommended vaccinations. And most of all, we can quit feeding our livestock so much of them. It is very important that we prevent the amount of the resistance from growing. According to the World Health Organization, 700,000 people die a year from diseases that are antibiotic resistant. And more than 50% of the known bacteria have some kind of resistance. Very soon, we could have a pandemic problem. Okay, you can stop.